WICR.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and our last topic of the day regards yes, the NFL. I know, the season's been over, and yet they still find some way to make headlines, but it happens, and it won't stop because the NFL draft
Headlines, Jersey Drake.
and the NFL draft's coming up, so expect more. So, this story actually regards yet another scandal involving this, and this time it doesn't involve players. Look at that. Not a sexual assault case. Shocker. This one actually right now involves actual franchise presidents and owners. First I'm going to talk about, we're going to talk about, the Atlanta Falcons and team president John McKay. He was suspended for 3 months. 3 months. And the team was fined $350,000, which the NFL's chump change, to be honest, but for pumping artificial crowd noise in the Georgia Dome. All right? So, Bill, I want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think... Okay, first, just throw some things in here. Do you think that this punishment was fair, too much? And do you think that this is something that the NFL should really dictate, whether teams want to do that or not? Let me get your thoughts.
Rob, I think that this punishment is completely fair, and as you pointed out, $350,000 in the NFL, especially for the Atlanta Falcons, which is a mid-level or one of the more respectable NFL franchises, is chump change, and I think that...
A little too nice, but okay. Go ahead.
I think that, when you start looking at a team pumping in extra fan noise just to get the home base, the home team, boosted up or whatever to get their morale going, I think, of course, that's cheating, whether it's on the field or adding some extra element, which is what the Falcons did. That's cheating, because we see the importance of having home field advantage. We see that in the playoffs. Every team is fighting for that number 1 and number 2 seed to have the buy-in and the home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
See it in Seattle all the time.
Seattle, the 12th man. That's become legendary.
That's the biggest example of how important the home crowd can be in a football game.
I mean, Rob, we even see that over in Texas A&M with the Aggies, the 12th man there too.
Yeah, look, there's 2 death valleys in college football: Clemson, LSU. Those 2 places can get raucous.
And also, when we look at the recent Saints dynasty, if you want to call it that, back in 2009, when the Saints were winning like everything. All of a sudden, if you're an away team, you go into Louisiana, Mercedes-Benz Superdome, you aren't winning a game for the most part. You got Drew Brees and Reggie Bush, and you got the crowd there. The crowd's going insane. You're barely able to hear any of the audibles going on inside your headset.
Or you can't even talk to your lineman about what blocks use, nothing.
No, and I mean that extra fan noise, if you just want to pump it up, that's going to add to the dimension of how fast the NFL really is. I mean, players say it all the time. College is like playing like a video game that's 5 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden you're playing a video game that's like 500 miles an hour. The change of pace, the game speed is extraordinary. And all of a sudden now you just throw in the fan noise. That's going to really boost up the home team, and to sum it up, it's really going to decrease the morale of the away team. Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, I think $350,000 was fine. And I also forgot to mention that the 5th round draft pick was taken away from the team. That right there, I think that's fair. However, I don't think it's really the NFL's job to dictate this sort of thing. If the team's fan base is really that, indifferent to how the team is doing, then, they could at least do something to give themselves an advantage. And we also heard plenty of times. I remember hearing someone saying that in the RCA Dome where the Colts used to play, whenever a player had a flu, they would, pump turn down AC, bring the heat up. Bring the heat up. So if I didn't hear anything about that, because that's actually worse, because that's actually affecting players' health, so they don't do anything about that, then pump crowd noise, fake crowd noise, that shouldn't really be that much, And obviously it's cheating, that's pretty much been the theme of this show, cheating.
No, but I guess so. But even then, we also have another NFL scandal over with the Browns and the Techsgate.
Yeah,
and
Cleveland.
just to give some background on Techsgate, which Rob and I refer to it as in our conversations, is the Cleveland Browns organization was texting on field during games.
Cleveland Browns general manager Ray Farmer was texting players during games on the sideline.
And that clearly violates the NFL league rules.
Now,
but Rob, Where do you stand on that issue?
First of all, my issue really, why do these players have smartphones in the sideline? For what? These players should not.
Go on Instagram. It's like Meek Mill accessing Instagram from prison.
These athletes shouldn't be having smartphones on the sidelines. What are they gonna do? For what? You're not you're not gonna check Instagram. You're not gonna check Facebook. Like, what are you gonna do? Play a game? Like, no. You're actually playing. You're playing
like Candy Crush.
You're playing a real game.
You're
called
playing
the
Candy
NFL.
Crush and accepting fans' invites.
You know, like, there's really no point in having a smartphone anyway. You know, that's number one. And number two, what could he possibly be? What could the general manager possibly be texting these players other than maybe like, you know, good job, great game, or, you know, step your game up or you're gonna get cut or something like that. I don't get it at all. You know.
Okay, well, Rob. Obviously, to most sports fans, it does seem a little bit taboo to hear of an owner or team president or front office administrator to go be texting the players on the field during game time. But look at this aspect. Using the text messaging aspect of a phone is just another form of mass communication or communication between players and people up in the boxes watching film or anyone that can really go give them that advantage. I mean, look at what we do. We have players having headsets inside of their helmets. We have coaches.
That's really just the quarterbacks, though.
No. On plenty of teams, you have every single player with that, with the quarterback saying it out loud to the wide receivers and also. Rob.
If every player has it, then why does
Rob,
the quarterback need to do the huddle?
Rob, the wide receivers also hear it.
If every player has it, what's the point of the huddle then? The huddle is to tell the players what player they're using, what the secondary player.
Not necessarily because, you know.
If everybody has it, then they don't need the huddle.
Not necessarily, Rob, because all of a sudden you come back from the huddle, and then the quarterback's there lining up. He repeats the same play over that he just repeated in the huddle. So right there, not every single time does that work out. And also, what about the other instances where it's just, like we see with Oregon, every single player for the most part has an audible inside their headset? What about those teams?
No.
What about those teams?
When they get into a huddle one time, they're in a game, and then they call multiple plays. Well, not Chip Kelly now. Mark Helfrich.
Yes.
He on the sideline he signals what audibles they're going to use. They have their own set of signals. That's how they do it.
But Rob, what about the other aspect? What about the other aspect of
and then
coaches?
they call 3 plays
Rob,
at a time.
What about the other aspect of coaches hearing from their coordinators from the boxes up top? I think
they're coordinators. Ray Farmer's a general manager.
But also you see on TV Tom Brady talking to the offensive coordinator via phone on the sidelines. So I think that it's a mistake for us to go just say, oh, you know, you aren't able to have text messaging utilized on the sideline, because it's just another aspect of the game developing and utilizing electronic services to really further the game and how the game is played.
When you made that reference to Tom Brady calling the offensive coordinator, do you know what the key word was in that? Coordinator. And the other one, offensive. He's actually part of the coaching staff. The general manager isn't part of the coaching staff. He's part of the franchise, but he's not part of the coaching staff. There's no reason he should be texting players during.
No. I think that anyone remotely involved with the organization, they should have the authorization to really go exercise their protocol and do whatever they want.
Big Brother, pretty much. NFL socialism is what you're saying.
No, it is not.
Okay.
No, it is not. It's just teamwork. Whether you have the knowledge
the NFL's
or you're able to go use the knowledge to turn into a good, which the athletes
American football is probably the most team-oriented sport maybe in the world, okay? You're only as good as your team is. Very rarely in the NFL. Look at Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson is the best running back in the NFL. And his Vikings teams are okay. They're okay. They're not great. They're okay. You know? If this was basketball and they had a player like Adrian Peterson translated to basketball, they'd be a championship team.
Yeah.
So that right there proves to you how team-oriented NFL already is. There's really no point in a general manager giving you tips. Even if he played football, there's nothing that he tells you that you're not gonna that you're gonna take advice from. You have a coach. You know, even if you don't like the coach, you have a coach. That's his job. You know.
Well, Rob, I think that we're running out of time.
Yeah, we are. We had a great discussion.
We did, and I'm sorry for showing up late.
Listen,
but
man,
academics come first.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll be back next Tuesday, and to all the listeners and all the people watching on Ustream, enjoy your Easter, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Go Gales.